Hello! In this video, I'm going to take a look at this, the Mooer Prime M2. It's budget, it's portable, it's got its own battery. Is it any good? Let's find out. That's a very high gain setting, and I'm monitoring it through the ToneX Cab from IK Multimedia. You're hearing it direct via USB. So I'm coming in here from my guitar out there to the cab, but this is the USB-C cable going directly into my Mac, recording it in stereo, I think. With these kinds of devices, there's often a lot of focus on the really high gain lead style, but I want to hear how it sounds clean and with some reverb and a Strat. What about tuning? Well, hold this button down and you get your inbuilt tuner. I don't think it gets much more 80s clean than that. It's a very beautiful delay and chorusy sound. Again, not my favourite sounds. Let's see if it can do rock. I don't know why I'm choosing my least favourite sound so far. Possibly because I'm trying to push myself out of my comfort zone. Let's rock it up. Tuner mode for mute. Everything you've heard so far have been slightly tweaked variations on the presets that come with the Prime M2. There are 80 preset slots. It also has 194 effects, which is everything. That's including preamps and modulations and cabs. So 194 different things it can do in terms of effects. There's a few more tricks up its sleeve. It's got a looper and a drum machine. And what I love about this thing is that those two things can work together. If we swipe down like that, we get to this other menu, which is Looper, Bluetooth, Footswitch, which means I can connect to one of these external Mooer foot switches, then the tuner, the volume, and the drum machine. So if I go to drum machine and select, let's go for something, what's Fusion sound like? Do not like that. It's far too complicated for me. Don't stay away from jazz. Let's find some good old rock. Rock 1. I'm down to lay down a loop with that. Okay, well, I'll stick with this guitar and see what comes out of the loop. Now I'm going to go into the looper by holding down both foot switches, and then we should be able to loop by pressing that one. There we go. That was rudimentary, but it worked. So I'm quite surprised. That was really easy. And I haven't spent a lot of time with this pedal. But you'll notice, or hopefully you notice, there was a click timed count-in for the loop. And then I didn't quite hit it in time with the beat, but it quantized. And what that means is that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and I hit it not quite at the right time to be on 1. But the Prime M2 did it for me. So it's a quantizable, yeah. It's a quantizing looper, which is very useful if you're a little bit sloppy on the old button pressing. And we can go back to it by pressing that, and that's a stop. But what's very cool is that when you are playing the loop, you can change the sound of your live guitar, meaning that you don't have to have the same patch for everything. So I'll demonstrate. So in the budget world with multi-effects, I'm used to having a loop recorded with a certain patch or sound, and then having to stick to that patch to jam over it. It's not the case with this pedal, which is brilliant. You might have seen that I've had a few issues pressing the right place on the touch screen, but I'm going to put that down to the fact that I'm going in at an angle. I'm not straight down, so I'm reaching forward because I'm making a video. It's right out there. So I'm going to forgive that. I'm going to come back out of there, swipe up to get back to my settings, and give you some bad news if you don't like using phones with pedals. The only way to edit the Prime M2 is with the app. So you can switch presets, you can do all the things that I've done so far with just the pedal. If you actually want to edit something, you need to use your phone. The app is free, and you load it up, go for the M2, and then there's mine already. I connect to it, which should take just a few seconds. It goes into this data processing mode, so it's just syncing everything with the app so it knows that, that it's connected. Then I click to enter, and then there are my presets and everything. So let's just swipe up out of that screen there so we can see the main screen. So Sheer Heart Attack is the preset that's on my phone, and then we've got all this. So if I click, let's say, I don't know, Brit Crunch, there we go. It starts hissing at me, and there's the amp settings and the cab and the delay. And what I'm going to do immediately is add a Dyna noise killer, because for some reason these presets don't come with them. There we go, so about there. The amp is a JCM 800, and the cab is a 1964 by 12, clearly a Marshall, with the delay after the cab. And if you noticed, you can move blocks by putting your finger down on it and dragging it. You can also, I don't know how many you can add. Let's see how many you can add. Okay, that's the max. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks. And you can disable them by just pressing them. Now, as far as it goes, using the app is very, very simple. Now, if you don't like apps and pedals and things, then this clearly isn't for you. And well, saying that, you could get away with just using the presets and never needing to touch the phone. But I've found that some of the sounds that come with the pedal are not set for every guitar. And certainly there's a digitalness to the sounds. There's a clean sort of crispness, which if you adjust the EQ on here, particularly on the cab, there, if we go to the cab, high cut, bring that down, and low cut if you want to get rid of that low boominess. That's going to change a lot of stuff, and you do that per preset. Another thing you can do is to employ the use of a second foot switch, which is the Bluetooth Mooer Footswitch, and it looks like that. And you can do various things by pressing this. You can change through the presets just by pressing the single buttons. There we go. And you can do various things by holding down certain buttons together. I lock the screen then, because if you press the power button, it locks the screen, which I guess is useful if you're on stage or something, or if you've got, for some reason, don't want people touching your screen and trying to play Snake or something. I'm not going to go through a full how-to of the pedal, because there is a great Mooer video that exists already on their channel, and I'll just link that in the video description. There is no point in me going over it. All I'll say is that when I first got into this pedal, it was a bit overwhelming at first. Then I very quickly was zooming around it. I'm not one for menu diving, but if you have the app, it's very simple. If you have this, it's great for changing patches, of course. It could benefit from having like an LED strip, like a scribble strip, so you know what you're doing, but then that would up the price. So it has a bunch of effects, a bunch of presets. It's got support for third-party IRs if you want that sort of thing. There's an 80-minute looper across 10 slots, which you can save and recall later. 56 drum machine patterns, USB-C audio interface. So as I am doing right now, you can record directly into your computer. It's rechargeable for up to 6 hours. It's still on 100% for me because it's taking the power from the computer. And for a budget system that's powered by a battery, it does a lot. I'm not fully convinced by the sounds. That's the problem. It sounds a little unbelievable, a little basic. That being said, it will get you through any gig, and it will certainly fit in your pocket, or in your it probably fits in your front pocket in your gig bag, and take it along as a backup rig. If you want it as your first primary rig, you'll also get away with most shows there. It's just, for those of you who are going to say it doesn't sound like an amp or anything, it doesn't. There's this digital-ness to it, which you find from cheaper multi-effects. And it is about 200 notes, which for what you get is insane. Because it has Bluetooth, you can also stream music to it and then run that through your system. So if you have a backing track, then you can take that straight from your phone or from a computer, play that through this pedal, and then come out of whatever speaker you're coming out of. There is a mixer in the app as well, but as far as I can see, there's no way to send like the drums to the left channel to go through a PA speaker, and then guitar only to the right channel, or vice versa. I tried that with various different setups. It doesn't work with USB-C currently. Surely we're a firmware update away from being able to split those two signals. Because you have two outs, it's just not set up that way. Which is a disappointment for me, but it should be able to be done by Mooer if everybody wants it. I don't think it's just me. So, who is this for? Well, if you want a portable, all-in-one rig that you can jam, practice, perform live with, you might actually love the Mooer Prime M2. If you want something that's at your feet and tweakable easily, it might not be for you. It is very powerful, and the sounds are acceptable to good, but you've got to be okay with using an app to get the best out of it. Still, for under £200, there's not much to complain about, and I would happily take this as my backup rig in my gig bag. Deal. A few words on the build quality. It is made of plastic, but it is a hard, solid plastic, definitely stronger than a Behringer pedal, and think of it more as a choice for weight rather than a choice for making it like a toy. It is solid. So, could you see yourself using this Prime M2 as your practice, travel, main rig, or does the lack of onboard editing make it a no-no for you? Let me know in the comments, and a big thank you to Mooer for sending this out for review. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!